My dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Today's reminder is simple, but it is one that can change the course of your entire life. Don't waste your life. Because the life you have right now, the years, the days, the breaths, is not yours. It is a trust from Allah, a trust you will return, a trust you will be questioned about, and a trust you cannot replace once it is gone. We wake up each morning with bodies that move, hearts that beat, eyes that open, and minds that think. But how often do we pause and say, Ya Allah, why did you give me another day? What do you want from me in these 24 hours? The tragedy is not that life is short. The tragedy is that many spend it on what does not matter. Hours and hours are invested into what brings no value, no growth, no nearness to Allah, no impact in the hereafter. My brothers and sisters, a life without purpose is a life slipping quietly into regret. There comes a moment, sometimes in illness, sometimes in loss, sometimes in sudden change, that Allah wakes the heart and whispers, return to me. Do not wait for that moment. Don't wait for a reminder through pain. Don't wait until something is taken away for you to realize its value. You and I were created for something far greater than a cycle of sleeping, eating, scrolling, complaining, and chasing what disappears the moment we close our eyes. This life was given so that through every action, every breath, every choice, you draw nearer to Allah. My dear brothers and sisters, pause for a moment. If today were your last day, would you be proud of how you spent it? Because life is not slipping away tomorrow. It's slipping away right now. Every breath you take is a page from your book written and sealed forever. And one day you and I will stand before Allah and be asked about this life we were gifted. So ask yourself, are you truly living or just existing? Don't waste the life Allah honored you with. Look at your daily routine. Look at the hours that disappear. Ask yourself honestly, what am I doing with the most valuable gift Allah has given me, my time? Because time is not money, time is life. Once spent, it never returns. And subhanAllah, the day of judgment will not begin until every soul has been asked about its time, where it was used, where it was wasted, and where it was buried in heedlessness. My dear brothers and sisters, heedlessness does not begin with a sin. It begins with distraction. A distracted heart becomes a distant heart, and a distant heart becomes a hardened heart. Then suddenly, the Quran does not move you. Salah feels heavy. Dua becomes rare. Gratitude disappears. This is not because Allah moved away from you. It's because your life became filled with everything but Him. But here's the mercy of Allah. The moment you decide to return, He opens the door. The moment you say, Ya Allah, I want to live for you, He fills your heart with purpose. He blesses your hours. He turns your routine into worship. He transforms your ordinary moments into extraordinary opportunities for closeness. A meaningful life does not come from achieving more, owning more, or receiving more. A meaningful life comes from living with Allah as your priority. When you wake up with gratitude, when you speak truth, even when it is difficult, when you choose kindness over ego, when you guard your salah like it is your oxygen, this is a life not wasted. My dear brothers and sisters, you were not created to pass time. You were created to honor time. And the most honored life is the one lived consciously, intentionally, and sincerely for Allah. When your intention is pure, your day becomes worship. When your heart is attached to Allah, your struggles become elevation. When your deeds are for His sake, even the smallest action shines on your scale like a mountain. So today, right now, make a decision. Ya Allah, I don't want to waste my life. Help me use my time for what pleases you. Start with one step, one habit, one prayer, one moment of remembrance, one act of sincerity. Because small steps taken consistently with Allah are worth more than a lifetime spent chasing this world. And remember, one day, you will stand before Allah and see the reality of how you live. On that day, the only regret will be the moments you wasted, and the greatest joy will be the moments you live for Him. Do not waste the life Allah gifted you. Use it in a way that makes your meeting with Him the sweetest moment you ever experience. My dear brothers and sisters, one of the most powerful truths that can transform the way we live is this: your life is not truly yours. It is a trust, an amana, placed in your hands by Allah. A trust so precious, so honored, that the Lord of the heavens and the earth chose you to carry it. And because it is a trust, every moment within it carries a purpose, and every second will be questioned. When Allah created you, He did not create you without intention. Nothing Allah creates is random, and certainly not the human being whom He fashioned with His own wisdom, breathed into from His Spirit and honored above. Creation. So when you open your eyes each morning, that awakening is not a coincidence. It is a message: I have given you another day. Fulfill its purpose. But what does it mean that life is a trust? A trust means responsibility. It means accountability. It means that you are expected to protect, honor, and utilize it in the way the owner, Allah, has instructed. Just as you would never neglect something borrowed from someone important, how then can a person take for granted something borrowed from the Creator Himself? Every heartbeat is a page in your book. Every breath is a line of your story. Every hour is a choice that either elevates you closer to Allah or distances you from Him. And on the day when no soul can move even an inch without permission, Allah will ask, what did you do with the time I gave you? What did you pursue? What did you prioritize? It is easy in this world to think time is abundant, that we have years ahead, that death is distant. But the truth is, a trust can be taken back at any moment without warning and without delay. The angel of death does not knock, and the end of your story is already written. None of us know when the final line will appear. And because we do not know, we must treat each day, each hour, each breath as valuable beyond measure. When life is treated as a trust, everything changes. Suddenly, heedlessness feels heavy. Distractions become dangerous. Wasted hours begin to hurt, because the heart awakens and realizes, this is my chance, this is my test, this is my journey to Allah. My dear brothers and sisters, Allah did not gift you time so you could simply pass it. He gifted you time so you could use it. Use it to worship Him, to seek knowledge, to heal your heart, to uplift others, to serve the creation, to build something meaningful, to walk a path that leads to Him. Every moment He gives you is an opportunity to rise in rank, to erase a sin, to strengthen your faith, to polish your heart, to earn a place in Jannah. When you live with this awareness, your perspective shifts entirely. You start asking, is this action pleasing to Allah? Is this a good use of my time? Will this matter on the day of judgment? Am I fulfilling the trust of my life? You begin to guard your mornings because you know they shape the entire day. You guard your salah because it is the pillar that upholds your life. You guard your time because it is the currency of the hereafter. You guard your heart because it is the vessel through which intention flows. And intention is everything. When the intention is pure, even small actions become mountains on the scale. A smile, a word of kindness, a sincere moment of repentance, a quiet dhikr whispered on your way to work. When done for Allah, these moments shine like gems in the book of your life. But when life is lived carelessly, without purpose, without remembrance, without accountability, then the trust is neglected, and the day will come when Allah will ask about even the minutes that passed without consciousness. Yet here is the beauty of Allah, mercy. The moment you decide to honor the trust, Allah helps you fulfill it. The moment you say, Ya Allah, help me use my life for what pleases you, doors open, clarity appears, habits shift, the heart softens, and the path to Him becomes illuminated. So treat your life with intention, treat it with care, treat it as the sacred trust it truly is. Because when you stand before Allah, there will be no currency, no wealth, no status, only your time and what you did with it. This life is a trust. Guard it, cherish it, use it to draw closer to the one who gave it to you. And may Allah make every moment of your life a witness for you, not against you. My dear brothers and sisters, one of the most subtle spiritual dangers we face today is not a sudden collapse of faith, nor an obvious sin, nor a major act of disobedience. The real danger begins quietly, softly, almost invisibly. Neglect, a little neglect of the heart, a little neglect of our relationship with Allah, a little neglect of our purpose. And from that tiny crack, distractions seep in, worldly attachments grow, and little by little the heart that was once luminous becomes dim, heavy, and distant from its Creator. The heart is not designed to function without Allah. It becomes unstable when disconnected. Just like a plant begins to wither when deprived of water, the heart begins to wither when deprived of remembrance. But unlike a plant whose withering is visible, the heart withers internally long before it shows outward signs. And by the time a person notices, the distance may feel overwhelming. This disconnection rarely starts with major sins. It begins with small moments, delaying a prayer, skipping a remembrance, forgetting to say Bismillah, filling silence with noise, scrolling for hours without meaning. It begins with losing the sweetness of worship, losing presence in salah, losing concern for time, losing sensitivity to sins. And every time the heart is left unattended, distractions find their way in. We live in a world overflowing with distractions, endless information, constant notifications, entertainment that never stops, desires constantly fed, and society constantly encouraging us to chase more, want more, compare more, consume more. And the more a heart absorbs from the world, the less room it holds for Allah. Not because the heart is bad, but because the heart is finite. It cannot carry both the weight of the dunya and the tranquility of faith at the same time. Worldly attachment doesn't arrive loudly, it creeps in slowly. A small interest becomes a habit becomes a priority, a priority becomes an obsession, and the obsession becomes a veil. The person doesn't say, I am choosing the dunya over Allah. No, the process is far more subtle. They simply say, later, I'll pray later, I'll repent later, I'll focus later. But later is the most powerful tool of shaitan. He doesn't need you to deny Allah. He only needs you to delay turning back to Him. And with every delay, the heart loses clarity. It becomes confused, restless, agitated. Decision-making becomes difficult. Worship feels heavy. Quran feels distant. Dua feels unnatural. Gratitude becomes rare. And suddenly the person feels spiritually numb. Not because Allah abandoned them, but because they slowly abandoned the actions that kept their heart alive. My dear brothers and sisters, the heart was created with a natural clarity, a fitrah, a built-in connection to its creator. But this clarity can be clouded, and the clouds are formed from one main storm, heedlessness, neglecting Allah, neglecting the purpose of life, neglecting the hereafter, neglecting the soul. And the longer the neglect continues, the heavier the clouds become. Some hearts become cloudy, some become foggy, and some become so darkened that light barely enters. But here is the mercy of Allah. No matter how clouded the heart becomes, it can always return to clarity. Always. Even if years have passed in distraction, even if sins have accumulated, even if worldly attachments have grown deep roots. Allah does not close the door to any heart that sincerely wishes to return. But returning requires awareness. You must recognize what is distracting you. You must acknowledge what is consuming your time, your mind, your emotions, your energy. You must identify what dunya attachments have replaced your attachment to Allah. And once you see them, the healing begins. The heart regains clarity through small, consistent acts. A prayer prayed on time, a quiet moment of dhikr while sitting alone, a sincere tear shed in repentance, one page of Quran before sleeping, one decision that prioritizes Allah over desire, one moment of saying, Ya Allah, bring me back to you. With every act of remembrance, the clouds begin to lift. With every sincere intention, light enters again. With every step toward Allah, He brings you closer than you could ever bring yourself. The dunya will always call you, loudly, constantly, repeatedly. But Allah calls you with gentleness, mercy, and love. The question is, whose call do you answer first? So protect your heart. Guard it. Feed it with what gives it life. Distance it from what darkens it. Because a clear heart sees truth clearly. A purified heart feels Allah closely. And a heart attached to Allah will never feel lost, no matter how chaotic the world becomes. May Allah purify our hearts, protect us from distractions, and guide us back to Him before a moment comes when returning is no longer possible. My dear brothers and sisters, every human being longs for a meaningful life. We search for it in success, in recognition, in relationships, in achievements, in comfort, in routines. Yet despite all the effort, many hearts still feel empty. Many souls still feel restless. Many lives still feel directionless. Why? Because true meaning cannot be found in anything created. A meaningful life begins only when Allah becomes the priority, the intention becomes pure, and every step becomes a step toward Him. When Allah is not the center of our lives, the heart searches endlessly. It tries to fill its void with the dunya. But the dunya was never created to satisfy the heart. It was created to test it. No amount of wealth, applause, accomplishment, or pleasure will ever complete a heart that is disconnected from its creator. People try for years, some for an entire lifetime, and still feel an ache inside that nothing seems to cure. But the moment a person decides to make Allah the priority, not a side thought, not a backup plan, not a last resort, everything changes. Suddenly the heart finds direction. Suddenly the soul feels anchored. Suddenly life makes sense. Not because the world changes, but because the heart changes its focus. Prioritizing Allah means that His commands guide your choices. His pleasure guides your intentions. His remembrance guides your day. It means your salah becomes non-negotiable. Your Quran becomes a companion, not an occasional visitor. Your decisions, whether large or small, are made with awareness of Him. You stop asking, what do people expect from me? And start asking, what does Allah want from me? Dear brothers and sisters, a meaningful life does not come from doing more. It comes from doing with purpose. And purpose begins with intention. Intention is the secret, the power, the engine of the heart. The Prophet taught us that actions are judged by intentions, because intention transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary worship. Eating becomes gratitude. Working becomes responsibility. Caring for family becomes charity. Even resting becomes an act of honoring the body Allah entrusted you with. But intentions must be purified constantly. The heart is easily swayed by ego, by desire, by fear, by comparison, by praise, by people's opinions. If you do something for the world will disappoint you. If you do it for people, people will forget you. But if you do it for Allah, Allah will elevate you. The world praises temporarily, but Allah rewards eternally. And the sincere intention is what turns life into worship. A meaningful life also requires the courage to pursue what brings you closer to Allah. This means leaving behind habits that darken the heart, even if they feel comfortable. It means choosing environments that uplift your soul, even if they are difficult to maintain. It means seeking knowledge, even when time is tight. It means surrounding yourself with people who remind you of Allah, encourage you, challenge you, and help you rise. It means choosing elevation over ease, closeness over comfort, purpose over pleasure. Because anything that brings you closer to Allah is worth more than everything that brings you closer to the dunya. When a person begins to seek Allah sincerely, Allah opens doors they never imagined. He gives clarity where there was confusion. He gives contentment where there was restlessness. He gives strength where there was fear. He gives healing where there was pain. He gives meaning where there was emptiness. This is the promise of Allah. Whoever comes to me walking, I come to him running. Meaning, when you take one step toward him, He brings you closer with a mercy unmatched by anything in this world. A meaningful life is not perfect. It is not free from trials. It is not free from challenges or pain. But it is filled with purpose, direction, and divine companionship. A meaningful life is one in which you can look at your day and say, I lived today for Allah. I said what pleases Him. I avoided what distances me from Him. I tried my best, and Allah knows my struggle. When Allah is the priority, the heart becomes peaceful. When intentions are purified, actions become heavy on the scale. When we pursue closeness to Him, life becomes illuminated with clarity, tranquility, and meaning. May Allah make Him our priority, purify our intentions, and fill our days with what brings us close to Him. May He grant us a life that carries meaning in this world and reward in the next. A life lived for Him, by Him, and with Him.